1939. For the Western Allies, the unwanted war begins at sea. From that Sunday morning on, in the Straits of Dover and all along the ocean approaches to Europe, all shipping, whatever its nationality, halts for the contraband controls inspection. Contraband meaning anything bound, whatever its route, for the Third Reich. A long-term war. But it worked the last time, so why not this? Very sorry, Captain, but though you are not at war with Germany, we are. At war with Germany. From stations all over a continent, reservists parting with their families. War is not just death on a battlefield. For those who have endured it, this is war. How long for? When will he come back? Will he come back? Who knows? And war, too. Children leaving the great cities for the safety of the countryside, leaving parents for foster parents. When they return, they will have grown up. Separation, but safety. Safety, but separation. Yes, many things are war, are creeping around in the darkness that once you thought an enemy, but now treat as a concealing friend. In that war, neither side was destined to employ poison gas. But all the same, your world became one of little cardboard boxes that were never supposed to leave you. And such was most people's idea of doing what they were told that for months they never did. After that, well, you better find them, Dad. The council's got a test on today. You know what the warden said when we couldn't find them the last time? Yes, this too was all war. When it came to little Alfred in his pram, well, what a way to run a world. And the continental stations weren't the only ones to witness big-scale departures. For the second time in 25 years, a British Expeditionary Force leaves the shores of England for France. Reluctant warriors, yet full of the we'll see it through kind of optimism. But for the old-timers who could remember the last time, it had a curious, we've been through it before ring. In 1914, the 1st BEF had set out to rescue poor, gallant little Belgium. In 1939, the 2nd BEF left to render aid, however vague and ill-defined, to far distant and unget-atable Poland. Aid to Poland. But what aid could anybody now give to a dying land and its people? Here, for the world to mark, was the terrible warning of the Blitzkrieg's power. Here, in desolation like the moon, was a sample of modern war. A nation now in name only. A country, a living corpse. The Polish army, once a proud and not inconsiderable force in the world's affairs, now just a rabble of defeated, disillusioned tramps. An army now in numbers only. And yet resistance still persisted. The German battleship Schleswig Holstein fires at point-blank range into Polish forts near Danzig. Here, the proud vestiges of an army hold out to the last bullet without hope of relief. Meanwhile, towards the banks of the Vistula, rolls an open car bringing the German warlord to witness for himself the last act of the Polish drama. For the Führer, the last convulsions of a dying foe are not to be missed. So take a good look, Adolf Hitler, at dying Warsaw. For in the smoke of her last agonies, you can read the signs of your own certain eventual destruction. For such is the torch you have lit. But now, as the bombers and the spotting planes fly over the city that has held out for so long, they find that Warsaw is fighting back no longer. out of the city, battered beyond all recognition, comes a Polish army commander to negotiate surrender. And then, inside a bus, a ceremony which for the conquered must be the bitterest of all inhuman farces. For this is no negotiation. This is a brave but beaten man forced to bow to the least whim of a ruthless and relentless conqueror. With the end of the grotesque comedy, the German forces move into the shattered and broken city. For the outside world, the fall of Warsaw is signaled by its radio station going off the air. The first phase of a nation's struggle for freedom is over. Long live Poland. Millions upon millions of Poles move into the limbo of the lost. All quiet now on the Eastern Front. And on the West? This is the frontier between France and Germany. Fallen telegraph poles and dead wires. Now at the customs barriers, nothing to declare, but halt, who goes there? But nobody goes there. The clocks have stopped, the trains have stopped. Of all communication, of all human contact, none. Down the bridges over the Rhine, dividing two worlds which can meet no longer. Now only a silent watchfulness, appearing through the ports along the whole length of the Maginot Line. Like some huge mole, the French army has gone to ground. While on the frontier of a Belgium still neutral, the British Expeditionary Force too goes to earth, marching into the forts built to protect France from invasion a century or more ago. And if the cover is found insufficient, then into action go the spades and shovels, digging in like 1914. And yet this is the first year of the Blitzkrieg.